Hey guys, my name is Nibiri and it's time for another Since Saturday. And today, again, I'll be giving feedback to some tracks that I got sent in. And the first track we're gonna kick this off with is Hit 'Em Up by Zebo. Okay, the first thing I want to say is what the fuck is this sound over here? And it's really creative. So I like it, but I'm not sure if I should like it. So it's a really creative thing and it does work. So yeah, that's nice. One thing that I'm noticing now that I'm scrolling in, you might want to maybe take a look at how your tail is transitioning into your punch. You might just want to give this a little bit of an earlier cutoff because either this click is already in that punch or it isn't. It seems maybe there's just a little issue with the tail transitioning into your punch. I'm just noticing this right now. A part of that, the sound design is nice. The whole balancing is nice, and the atmosphere that you're putting down, the theme that you're putting down in the beginning is nice, but I do feel like you could maybe watch some more, I don't really know the channels for that, but just watch some more tutorials on how you can make better of a hip-hop kind of vibe, because I do feel it's lacking just a tiny bit, and I would especially say that's maybe in the 808 side of things. It's decent, but I do feel it could be a little bit better. But a part of that, the whole hardstyle part of thing that I like is it's good. It's creative and the kicks are nice, the screeches are nice. So I like this. I like this. It's probably that your the kick drum that you're using, now I'm thinking about it, it's probably that it doesn't really have that 808 till, or to me it doesn't have the boominess that this whole feeling you're going for just needs. It would need a little bit more of an audible 808. That's what I think is probably what I'm just missing. so it's nice, but over here when your melody comes in, I do hear that there's, I don't know if you're layering two percussive sounds, but I do feel like one of them is just tiny bit off. So that's really distracting, or either you should just switch out the kick that's underneath the melody, but that just really distracts me and it doesn't really sound that nice. The sound design of the melody is nice, but I do feel that you could maybe focus a little bit more on the reverb and just make it a little bit more audible. Maybe just, if you're already sidechaining the reverb, just do that a little bit less, or just send some more to your reverb send channel, so that you just get that reverb to be just a little bit more audible. A part of that, the kick rolls are okay. In my opinion, it might be a little bit too much, but honestly, that's my opinion, and everyone has their own flavor of kick rolls, so that's okay. But yeah, really, when you're hearing that kick and the melody itself playing, it just doesn't sound as big as I think it could be. Now, when I listen to this whole track as a whole, it's interesting, and it keeps you, as a listener, it keeps you on your toes and just keeps you interested in the full track. But I do feel that you're maybe just losing a little bit track of the original topic that you're putting down, the whole vibe that you're putting down. And also with this drop over here. The drop is nice, but I feel this is so hard that the whole mellow drop that you're having over here really needs some work to be on that same level as the anti-drop that you're having over here. So you maybe want to put some more focus in here. And also a thing that I'm noticing, I think your kicks could just have a little bit more warmth, like a little bit more bass. But a part of that, you're just playing nicely with the kick rolls and the sound design is sweet. So it's nice, but I do feel you're maybe just losing track of the original topic that you're putting down. I also think that this melody over here that you're having at the ending is already a lot more interesting than this one you're having over here. So yeah, in my opinion, you might want to switch those out, but I do really hear this Act of Rage inspired sound, and in Act of Rage's tracks he also uses different types of the same melody. So that's my opinion, but well, this is a really nice track, and it's really nice, nicely produced, nice sound design, and it's good quality. And next up we got Untitled. Yeah, let's just listen to this. So one thing I really want to tell already for the producer that's made this is you're putting down a nice atmosphere over here, but keep it simple. You're already seeing with the other guy, Zibo for example, he takes a nice atmosphere and he builds on top of that. But right now you're just losing the whole vibe that you're having over here. Just keep that little loop that you're having, maybe make a little build up, and yeah, just keep building on that atmosphere. There's no need to just go so crazy with this little plucky sound, and it doesn't really sound nice. So that's why I'm talking over it. I think it's also a really important step for you to just keep it simple. Just use as much inspiration from other producers that you can, and you'll notice that doing things like this just kind of kills you the drive and doesn't have that excitement, you know. And also take a look at how producers do kick rolls. And of course, you want to do your own flavor of that, but there should be some structure. And right now, it feels like you worked on a kick roll and then you liked it, and then you forgot about the kick roll you having previously, and you're just putting a new kick roll at a certain point in the next point in your track. But the whole two kick rolls don't work together. It's really important that when you're doing something earlier in the track, that it comes back in a certain way. So either rhythmic or either sounds or just something like that. Just keep it basic and just play with that basic thing that you're putting down. Once you have your nice vibe, I actually really like this intro over here, but you just stray away so far from it that it just really becomes a hot mess to listen to. The kicks do sound decent. You do hear a nice tail and a punch. I would just work a little bit more on them and just keep practicing them because they're just a hell of a task to make. So just keep practicing on kicks because everyone just needs to keep doing that. But yeah, for your next track, just make sure that you're keeping it as structured as possible. Next up, we got Insomnia with Search and Destroy.
Search and Destroy.
You've never backed down from anything in your life, even when you maybe should have. A stray bullet could end you, but that's never stopped you from taking action.
Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy.
If you gotta kill, kill.
Search and Destroy.
Now, it's a really nice atmosphere that you're putting down, and I really like the vibe, and I'm also really happy that you're using that as a screech pattern over here, because I heard that and I already thought that's nice, and you really use that, so that's a really good job. Yeah, a part of that, maybe underneath this melody over here that you're cutting it up and playing with that plug, you might already want to add some percussion or something to just build a little bit of drive, but just the whole setting that you're putting down sounds really nice.
Destroy.
You've made an impact.
So the vocal is nice, and the rhythm, there's nothing to talk about that. It just sounds okay. But I do feel that your lead could just be a tiny bit warmer. Maybe bring up the top lead just a tiny bit more so it has a little bit more mids. And yeah, it sounds okay. For the rest, it just sounds nice. Maybe over here with the build-up, you just want to add a lower layer to your vocal. So maybe lower it down 1 octave, distort it a tiny bit, or make it just a little bit gritty somehow, and just putting that underneath here. Because the vocal then takes this kind of dark turn, and it would be nice to have something that also makes the sound a little bit more darker. But overall, it sounds just really nice, so let's just keep listening.
Everything has its end. If you gotta kill, kill.
Search and destroy. Search and destroy.
If you gotta kill, kill.
Search and destroy.
Now over here with that little gated kick, you might want to add just a tiny bit of a crunch, but that's my opinion. I like crunchy kicks, so you might want to add just a tiny bit of a crunch into that sub layer you're having, because it's just a little bit static. And also I feel maybe that this whole fake drop isn't really needed over here, that you could rather just, because you're having quite a nice drive, and then just continue with the outro of this track. But overall, this is really nicely produced, nice sound design, and quite a good mix down, but just some few tips here and there that you could really hopefully use to make it a little bit better. Next up, we got Drums of War.
Around the dusty mountains, where the mist unfolds its veil, the chosen ones praise the gods as they prepare to fight the evil.
Okay, so there's already a lot going on, and I really want to give some good feedback to this, because it sounds nice, and that whole dark vocal, I just like it, and it really grabs my attention. So the whole feeling that you're putting down is spot on, but I do feel that with the whole horn and the whole tribal sounds, you could maybe make them a little bit more wetter with reverb, so that it just sounds a little bit more distant and just builds a little bit more of atmosphere. But I'm just really curious where this is gonna go, because this really sounds nice. So, well, let's just keep listening. Okay, so having this intro, the kick is really insane. I just like the whole kick. It just sounds different, and I really like that. I do feel that there might be just a tiny bit too much sub compared to the warmth of the kick. And again, the whole dryness of the sounds on top of the kick is just a little bit of an issue for me, because you're really not using a screech in the normal way. You're just using the crunchy high end, and that sounds creative, but it, in my opinion, would sound a little bit more interesting if you're just putting some more reverb on there, or making it just appear a little bit more in the background and maybe pan around just a little bit. But right now it's just a little bit too much on top of the kick for me. And I think that could really just be an improvement point, that you really just put some more reverb on there and give it a little bit more of its own space, because right now I feel it's not really in its right space. But let's just keep listening.
Around the dusty mountains, where the mist unfolds its veil, the chosen ones praise the gods as they prepare to fight the evil. Courageous and gifted, relentless and unforgiving, it is them who will decide the fate of our world. As they prepare to fight the evil.
Okay, so I just want to break down the break that we're having over here. I do feel that low vocal has way too much sub as well, because if you're noticing how much sub there's in your kick over here, sometimes your vocal over here has more sub than your kick has, and that's just something that's structurally wrong, because on a bigger sound set, it's just gonna take away the power from the kick and just give the vocal some more power, and that's not really the right balancing. A part of that, just you don't really have a sub under here, but that's all right. It could be a decision that you want to make. And then we get to this melody, and this melody, the whole sound design is just a little bit too weak. I would really just start with a nice top lead that has power, and start building up from that, giving it some nice support layers, and then you can do this kind of things where you're having breaks in the melody. But right now you're having breaks in the melody, but the synth is already just kind of lacking, so that takes away the quality from the whole production that you're already just putting down here in the interesting side of things. But really, I would just put some more attention into the sound design of your leads. And well, let's just keep listening.
As they prepare to fight the evil. Courageous and gifted, relentless and unforgiving, it is them who will decide the fate of our world. Fight the evil.
Yeah, I just stand by my point. You really need to focus a little bit more on the quality of your melody, or the synth of the melody. Also, just notice that probably the way that you're producing right now, it just has a little bit too much sub. Also, this over here, the drop, the kick compared to the high end of the melody, it's just out of balance. So I'd really put some time in there, just maybe use some reference tracks and see how other people, professional people, balance their tracks, so that you can really balance your own tracks that way. Also, underneath the melody, when it's playing before the build up, you don't really have any low end over there. So you're really focusing that low end on the vocal, but you don't put any bass line or anything warm underneath your melody, and that's really important as well. And I think the kick with the melody, that pitching kick, that could really just use a little bit more distortion and just a little bit more fine tuning. Then the final thing that I really wanted to say is that your reverb from your leads just sounds off. It doesn't really sound hardstyle. What you're having with hardstyle reverbs, and of course it's good to renew that and don't stick to what everyone's doing, but your reverb is quite small and it has quite a low high cut, so it's really warm, but it just comes in quite late and it fades out really quickly, and it just really doesn't fit. Yeah, it doesn't fit in this mix. So maybe want to check your reverb settings, because, well, personally my reverb is at 7 seconds and it's quite a long reverb, but that does help creating a huge atmosphere. So you might want to put some time in there and just get that fixed. But overall, it's a really nice production in the first half, and it really sounds interesting. The mixing, the decisions sound right, but the second half is kind of where you lose me, because the sounds aren't on par with the intro, and I'm just discovering a little bit more mixing issues. So do you want your track to be in a video like this, or you want me to give you some personal feedback? Just send your track over to my Instagram, and if I got time, I'll respond to it and either give you some personal feedback or I'll make a new video like this. I hope you like this and learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Cheers!